This is Hydrilla, also known as Hydrilla verticillata. It is an invasive aquatic plant species that originated in Asia, more specifically in places like India and Sri Lanka. According to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, an invasive species is an organism that causes ecological or economic harm in a new environment where it is not native. Invasive species are capable of causing extinctions of native plants and animals, reducing biodiversity, competing with native organisms for limited resources, and altering habitats. Hydrilla is considered to be the world's worst invasive aquatic plant species. It was first introduced to the United States in the early 1950s in two different locations in Florida. It was first introduced in the Tampa Bay area when an aquatic plant dealer was said to have discarded 6 large bundles of hydrilla into the canals near his business. By the 1970s, the plant had invaded every major drainage basin in Florida. Since its discovery in the 1960s, it has since spread to 30 out of the 50 states and can be found on all of the continents except for Antarctica. You may be wondering how hydrilla managed to make its way from Asia to the United States. It was originally brought to the United States intentionally to sell as an aquarium plant. Here is some helpful terminology. This is what hydrilla looks like close up. 1 square meter of hydrilla can produce 6,000 tubers, which are found on the underground part of the stem. Hydrilla stems have been found to grow up to 9.144 meters or 30 feet tall. The turons, on the other hand, when broken off, will settle in the sediment and lay dormant for more than 5 years and can still produce new plants. When a hydrilla plant is broken or torn apart, even the smallest fragmented piece of hydrilla can produce a completely new plant. The hydrilla plant itself is named after the Hydra, a 9-headed serpent from Greek mythology, because of its ability to grow an entirely new plant from a tiny fragment. Today, hydrilla is spread primarily through human activities. Small fragments of hydrilla can be brought from one body of water to another on boats, trailers, recreational equipment, construction equipment, and yes, even our very own pets. Another way hydrilla makes its way into our waterways is by aquarium owners going to their local ponds, streams, and lakes to dump out their unwanted aquariums. It has also been found on shipments of other aquatic plants used for aquariums and water gardens. At one point, fishermen would intentionally put hydrilla into their favorite lakes in hopes to improve the fishing there. Hydrilla can thrive in many different habitats and water conditions, such as high and low nutrients, high and low turbidity, variable pH, and up to 7% salinity. Unlike a lot of native aquatic plants, hydrilla is capable of growing under extremely low light conditions at depths of up to 9.144 meters or 30 feet. Hydrilla can start photosynthesizing much earlier in the morning than most native plants. This causes the hydrilla to capture most of the carbon dioxide in the water, preventing native plants from getting any. Hydrilla grows very rapidly and has no natural grazers or diseases to limit its population growth. Hydrilla is known to completely take over bodies of water. The thick, dense mat that forms on the surface of the water can overcrowd and shade out all native plants, alter the chemistry of the water, cause dramatic changes in dissolved oxygen levels, increase in the water's temperature, and affect the abundance and diversity of fish species. These thick mats also affect boats' navigation through the water and recreational swimming and fishing. Sadly, once hydrilla has overtaken a body of water, it is very difficult and expensive to get rid of. Millions of dollars are spent each year on physical removal such as hand pulling, dredging, and suction harvesting, chemical removal through the use of herbicides, as well as through the use of biological controls like triploid grass carp, snails, leaf mining flies, and tuber feeding weevils. And in some instances, Florida has used manatees as a form of biological control. All of these methods have had varying levels of success, but none have been proven to be a permanent solution. As of right now, the most effective thing to do is to prevent new infestations through public outreach and education. Now you may be wondering how you can help prevent the spread of this invasive aquatic plant. Well, these 5 steps can help. Number 1 is to avoid driving boats through the mats of hydrilla. This will prevent the hydrilla from fragmenting more. Number 2 is to make sure that you clean any mud or plant fragments from you, your boat, trailer, propeller, and all gear before leaving a body of water. Number 3 is to be sure to drain all water from your boat, trailer, tackle, and gear before leaving the area to avoid any aquatic hitchhiking. Number 4 is to make sure that your boat, trailer, and gear are dried after each use. And number 5 is to never release aquarium or water garden plants into the wild. A better method of disposal is to collect all fragments of the plant, then once away from water, bury them in an area high above the water line. The further away from bodies of water, the better. Hydrilla can be found on the USDA's federal noxious weed list and is regulated by strict permits. It is considered illegal to buy or sell hydrilla. Unfortunately, many sales still happen due to the misidentification of the plant. Hydrilla can be found in freshwater lakes, ponds, rivers, impoundments, and canals.